The paint is dry and the paper's ready. I had taken some pictures of, some screenshots really, of some boats over the last few months, because every now and then I get inspired to paint a boat. And I have a series of paintings where I paint boats or waterways of some nature, and I feel like every time I get the calling to paint a boat, it's because I'm about to, or I am kind of in the transitionary phase of some kind, because I see these boats as like vessels, or of course, but I also see them as biographic images of this solo vessel, about to embark on some sort of journey. That's always what I've seen them as. So, yeah, for whatever reason, I have some images that I had been holding on to and hadn't really tapped into. This is an old fishing boat, and it's very small, almost tugboat size. But there's something about its efficiency that was very striking, as well as the composition that I found, the picture. But just all these nets kind of all held in the back was kind of somehow intriguing, some sort of maybe metaphor about this like simple structure of protection that was on it, just like there's like little clues into some sort of mental state. Of course I'm always going to find these little metaphors in whatever I paint. It definitely helps me kind of process where I'm at in my practice and in my life in general. I have 2 upcoming solo shows in the next few months, and I don't really know what I'm working on just yet. And that is both very exciting and very stressful. I'm usually one to have some sort of plan or, a basic idea. A little framework, a structure is always helpful. And when I don't have that, I'm like, oh, well, let's get focused. Let's organize our thoughts here. And I think that's what this boat is kind of helping me do, so I can cast a wide net at my ideas and see what I pull up. Yay! I love a snow day, and it's been a while since I've had one, so it's my favorite way to start a day, is kind of staying slow and cozy anyways. But when it's cold outside and snowy, it's time for pancakes. It's what it tells me. So yeah, having like a nice routine in the morning before getting anything going is my favorite. And I think this guy would agree. My kitchen assistant over here. After getting nourished from a delicious breakfast and caffeinated, of course, it's time for a little walkout. I'm looking for inspiration. Most of the snow was gone already, but I found a little patch which had a really curious quality about it. It was in the shade, and there's something kind of beautiful about the way it lays on the ground. Kind of floats on top of it, like all these protected bushes and plants that I kept seeing everywhere in the neighborhood. I couldn't help but to think of like Jean-Claude and Christo wrapping, those wrapped buildings. They're protected, and at the same time, it's something about how fragile everything is, that it needs this protection. It's just such a kind of surreal thing to see these bundled bushes and trees, and sometimes very sculptural, like this. I think it was just a tree, just like a young sapling that was being protected, and sometimes entire backyards were just swathed in this either plastic or this protective fabric for plants, very breathable mesh. And it's just such a strange sight. I took a lot of pictures of them, and there's no doubt that this little setting is definitely going to make it into some sketches soon. Even just the way the plastic reflected light was very inspiring. And people are so funny. I found this little pig sculpture weighing down some of the fabric. Yeah, it's definitely one of those moments where I kept being inspired by the randomness of this. Either by the color of it, the shape, how it was hung, how it was draped, how it was covered, tied around or not, with care or kind of haphazardly. Because you could tell people spent some time trying to protect their young plants. I'm not too sure how helpful it necessarily was for this little freeze that we had, but it was really quite a scene to walk amongst, and just to see so much tarped, so much covered, so much protected. And the extent that some people even built structures to protect their plants. I mean, it's quite a thing. I appreciate it. I appreciate people's care in whatever form it shows up as. Neatly packed little bushes and shrubs. Sometimes not really working because of the wind, but life always finds a way, even if we don't cover it. But yeah, thanks for joining me on this little walk, and just this moment to realize that there's inspiration in the littlest things if your eyes are open to it. So, yeah. And here's a little bit of snow I found for you. Inspiration is is there for us. Always.